In the top right, the Terran player, it is Gumiho!
And in the bottom left, looking to close in on this 4-2 and another championship trophy in his display case. For Basilisk, he is Cyril!
And catching Cyril off early in this series, he's hoping to do it again here. 6-minute mark, massive Hellion run by with a Raven. He's looking for big kills.
Yeah, those Lings are actually going to be a little lined up. Now a bit more of a surround as reinforcing Lings come in, but Auto Turret also coming down. That actually, the biggest problem with Auto Turrets is the threat. As the Lings get distracted by it, the Hellions go after the drones.
The Queen actually blocked the ramp. They wanted to go in the main base, but that single Queen was perfectly positioned. The Hellions kind of bugged out for a little bit, trying to get past it, but they just couldn't quite squeeze through. And all things considered, Cyril does hold. Gumiho is building towards the late game mech army, and I think it might be time to begin that Ghost transition because Cyril's got the spellcasters. Actually, no, he's going to go for a push. Maybe he'll go for Ghost behind it, but for now he is shoving with a gigantic mech army.
Exactly, he has adapted it away from, battle mech, really not even really being all that active with it. Added on those tanks, added on those Thors. With all those upgrades that the Thors have, they are actually tanky and they pack a punch, and again, can be micro thanks to the medevac addition. Absolutely lovely from Gumiho. Cyril not quite prepared to tackle this push. Lets it onto his side of the map, lets it on top of the base, which absolutely goes down. I don't know what he's planning on doing now. He actually runs into the tanks that are definitely going to win that fight, positioned as they are. He is forced to retreat away, but if he retreats any further, then the Natural is in trouble.
Now the way Cyril's going to try to do this, look at this. Roach run by, cuts off the reinforced, deals with the Hellbats, backs away from the Thor.
The Zerg was also expanding towards the left, and he just took control of the Xel'Naga and the gold base. He could also do the same thing to the right side, depending on how this game goes. Cyril actually on the offensive. The Neural Parasites come in. However, the Hellbat drop going to try and take care of them. The Raven is there to help out. No scan necessary. Corrosive Biles landing on some of those mech units. Actually, Gumiho's supply still looking fine, as he is willing to chase after this army and anti-armor missile helping out as well.
Oh, great neural there on the Thor. He's going to force those medevacs and those mech units backwards. Cyril with some amazing engagements off the back of the Infestors, but I do love the Hellbat answer.
It might work out. Ling starting to get some run-bys in, capture a tank, gonna go after this Thor and find the damage. There you have it.
3-3's almost finishing for Gumiho. That's gonna be big. Zerglings coming in. Oh, Cyril being so tricky with these little Ling backstabs, trying to find units. But keep in mind, most of his army still Ravager Ling Bane. These units are fragile. He needs the correct engagement. He's got to take the right fight. Your Parasites come in. The Hellbat drops answering all over the Zerg.
Wow.
Gumiho coming in with napalm drops like an absolute madman.
Oh, wow. Bringing back kind of a classic style. The Hellbat drops on top of the Zerg to help deal with the current problem Terrans are facing. The Neural Parasites against their army can be very tricky to deal with. You add on Ghost, you get the EMP, do you siege up your Liberators in time and actually have that scan? Well, this is a very fast reaction to those Infestors. Really cool stuff here from Gumiho, perhaps advancing the cause of Terran mech. Now even including some of those Thor drops to help chase down the Roach Ravager as it tries to retreat.
Careful, this is very hard to get out of here. Thors aren't very mobile. Cyril catching him out. Thors are getting dropped backwards to dodge the Biles though. Nice micro. I didn't realize Terran had Warp Prism zombie grubs.
Gumiho can start to add in these battle cruisers. He might even be able to hide them until they're at a higher count as well.
Okay, oh, nice move for Cyril. Unsupported Planetary Fortress gets biled down. A moment of inattention for Gumiho gets punished. Cyril looking for those freebies. This is what Cyril's so good at. He's basically saying, if Cyril goes in here for the Neurals, for the engage, I am going to jump on top as a surprise. And he is looking for one crushing victory. Gets a hatchery on the right side. He's taking the Watchtower. Cyril still trickling Zerglings in, keeping himself frustrating, making it hard for Gumiho to get on top of this.
There we go. First sign of the battle cruisers finally had. Is Gumiho going to react to that? Maybe teleport them in? No, still waiting for perhaps Cyril to make that big mistake. That is the second Spire, by the way. The first one's already a greater Spire. Some Corruptors are coming in. Banelings make some connections, but Gumiho now threatening this base.
Those tanks starting to inch forward. Tanks are a big problem for the Infestors, but the Ravagers, nice corrosive files for Cyril. Takes out the front two tanks, pulls back. Thor's boosting on top of the Infestors. Whoa! Crazy move there for Gumiho. He gets 2-3 and the Infestors go down. One of the Thors gets caught by a Neural Parasite. Corrosive File tries to punish. Battle Cruisers are going to go for it.
There it is. The teleport in. 3 Yamatos available. Corrosive File's actually kind of supporting the Neural Parasite as well. Not going to take care of the Neural Parasite. The Yamatos are used on his own Thors. He tries to dodge out of the way, but Gumiho's tactic is not working out so far. The Battlecruisers do end up living throughout the Neural Parasite, not enough Corruptors to help out, and now the Corruptors are actually going after the Battlecruisers underneath the Thors. They're adding a ton of damage. It's a bit of a bloody mess, but Serral is starting to lack some units. The mech push continues on.
Incredibly technical hold by Serral. He uses the corrosive bile to take out the battlecruisers while holding them in place with Neural. The Corruptor's now in decent enough numbers to deal with the battlecruisers, but his ground army is low, and Gumiho is continuing to rally in. Battlecruiser stumbles in, it teleports to the left. Serral is losing his economy. He's very low on money right now. Gumiho may be low on production and supply, but if he can take out these bases, Serral will be broken. Serral says no, he holds onto the bottom right. Hindsight's 2020, but Gumiho, if he teleported on the left with all 3 BCs, cleaned up 2 of these hatcheries and flew home, that would have been a much bigger success. He's not done yet though. Hellbat drop comes in, Hellion Cyclone behind it, going back into a slightly more flexible mech composition and finding some big value.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's going to have to retreat here, but thanks to the medevacs, he absolutely can. He is still pushing with the actual army, but nothing to respond to the Neural Parasites. Gumiho actually kind of starting to get really clumsy, to be honest. He really needs to consolidate and think through these pushes and how he's going to play out the rest of this game.
Right now, Serral is bigger brothering him a little bit with those infestors. The why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Every time he steals one of those big 6 supply units, a battlecruiser or a Thor, it's a massive swing in the battle. And these SCVs aren't able to find anywhere to mine. Gumiho's back on 4 bases now. Serral, it's just his activity level is too high. And Serral's expansions continue to pop up across this map.
Yeah, resource trade actually bad for Gumiho. Not a particularly good sign here. I do want to get a unit check after we see this upcoming battle. Battlecruisers versus Infestors 5 to 7. So Neural Parasites, if all of them are available, that is, will be effective, but they might not be if they're being used or if they actually start getting destroyed. Battlecruisers waiting to teleport in if they possibly can. Another Thor gets knurled, somehow survives, but that's a big Zerg army, and there's not much on the ground for Gumiho.
Oh, massive, massive fights for Serral, showing his class in this game. I gotta say, when those Hellbats were dropping on his Infestors, the Battlecruisers teleporting in as a surprise, the Thors moving across the map, a lot of Zergs would have crumbled, but Serral is made of sterner stuff. And as much as he's being tested in this grand finals, look at this. The Battlecruisers coming in now on the left, getting a lot of damage. 89 army supply for Gumiho. A lot of it's in Hellion Cyclone. He needs to find some pretty wild value, though. Serral still at 125 army supply.
Yeah, the Battlecruisers need some protection. They basically, again, mech needs to combine together, so Gumiho does manage to find his ground army and his air army together, almost finding a very nice drone line. What he does find is a hatchery kill, 8 drones as well, but Serral still on 72 drone, just needs bases to mine from, still has that army, unless this fight goes to be a disaster for Serral. This might be the game-ending fight indeed. The Corruptors taking on very injured Battlecruisers as Gumiho's supply continues to dip down. The Battlecruisers are trying to take down as many Ravagers as possible, for they are also taken down in turn. Does Gumiho once again have that barely enough army to turn this game around?
No, you're kidding me. I don't think he can, but he's only down 10 army supply. A lot of it's in Corruptors. If there's enough Hellion Cyclone to push in, then maybe. Serral realizing, though, look at that. Nice unburrow fungal trap all over the Hellion Cyclone, and Gumiho is forced to pull back.
Yeah, that was always going to be a big problem. The shark attack is just too deadly. He doesn't have as many scans as he would like to be able to look every which way. The Corruptors do get locked on too, so if he has any Battlecruisers left over, they could be a threat. But Neural Parasite and Fungals, the Infestor being the critical unit of this game.
Oh, Corrosive Bile takes out that Battlecruiser, 10 Cyclones, 3 Hellions in a dream. Gumiho has fought so hard and impressed so many around the world in this series. But Serral is ahead. He's got 73 workers, and every time he pops a new hatchery up, his mining is good. But right now, if we look at the income tab, it's not massive for Serral.
He does it again, the madman Gumiho! He still pushes into the attack despite so many Infestors being available. I think he took down a couple, but now Serral has protected them once again. The lock on the hatchery might get the successful kill. No, it will not, and Gumiho is absolutely playing with fire.
There's not much meat to Serral's army. It's a handful of roaches and ravagers, but those Infestors are just keeping Gumiho at bay. And keep in mind, Gumiho actually had a bit more income with all of his mules dropping in the last minute or two, but it's not long. There's no longevity. Oh! Oh, Neural Parasite comes in. Hellbat Cyclone drop to try and answer it, but it's too late.
That is going to be it. Cero withstands the bag of tricks that Gumio was throwing at his opponents all tournament long, and will once again hoist a trophy, this time recovering from his 2017 loss against Neve, and now gets to stand on the stage in front of this lovely crowd.
A stunning victory, being set through his paces at all stages, but showing once again why he is considered the GOAT.